Welcome to Practical Smokers, where we light up at the latest of cigar culture while providing a healthy dose of humor and news. I'm your host, Cole Parker, with my fellow co-host, Jay Money.
What's going on, people? How y'all doing? It's your boy, Jay Money. You know, we out here chasing the bags, bad chase, that's baby.
Obviously, this is the one you're stuck on this one now.
I'm stuck
this
on
this. This is about the third, fourth time I heard this in a row.
I'm stuck on
this. Your line.
This it.
We're going to go ahead and make sure we go ahead and make that happen.
Okay, then.
All right. Well, last week, Bobby, Jesus Christ, last week, I talked to you before you even put you on. Last week, Jay and I had a sit down discussion. We really just kicked it. So I'm glad y'all got to see how we really are outside the cigar world, but in it as well.
Yeah.
So you got to see us just kicking for a little while. But our special guest today is none other. I've been working this out during the course of the day.
He been around me too long. He didn't start stuttering.
I just started fucking stutter boxing now. Yeah. Jesus Christ, I'm a stutter box.
Yes, you are.
So, our special guest today is none other than Bobbi Jones. What's going on, Bobby?
Hey.
Happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Good to have you on.
So, Bobby is here today to really talk us through some good things on how we can work on our mental stability.
Yes.
Mental wellness. Mental upkeep.
Yes.
As well as the of cigars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so special.
So, Bobby, how you doing?
I am well. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it.
Bobby's a great friend of not only the Practical Smoker Show, but both myself and Jay.
Yes.
So we are greatly appreciative that you are here with us.
Happy to have. Happy to be here.
So, first I'd like to just tap on right at the beginning, right? Sometimes when it comes to health and wellness, cigars get such a bad rap, right? But they don't tie it into the mental support that it gives.
Right.
So let's talk about the ability to be able to sit down, get a little woosah moment over a cigar. Sometimes, anywhere between 45 minutes to 3 hours in a cigar.
Yeah.
Easily.
Right?
Yes.
So what does that do for your mental health? Now, even if not daily, a few times a week, what does that do for you?
So it's important for us to build in some joy in our day. So for some of us, it's golf, it's tennis, it's working out, it's this, that, and the other thing. But it's also important, even if it borders, a lot of people say that cigars are unhealthy. And maybe that's
medically,
true.
Right?
Maybe that's true, but I got into cigar smoking because it became my version of golf. I negotiated meetings over cigars versus being on the golf course or the tennis court or wherever. And so it's really important that every individual takes their time to figure out what is meaningful to them, whether it's cigars or something else, and build that into their regular weekly habits.
Right. Okay.
So that they have something to look forward to.
That's a good explanation.
Right. I love it. So what really got you into that career? I've been knowing you for quite a while. I know you've been doing.
You have.
You've been doing some things. I've never known you to not do your thing.
Well, thank you for that.
As my girl said, you're Canadian.
I am Canadian. So I started off in psychology, and then I diverted into marketing and advertising. I did that for most of my life. And then about 10 years ago, I was like, hey, this is what I love. I want to get back to it. And so that's what I chose, went back to school, finished up undergrad requirements, went to grad school to make sure that I could do that. And honestly, I think that what it did for me most was teach me a little bit about myself and those around me in a place where we can figure out what brings us joy. Cigar smoking was a big thing for me.
Gotcha.
I had no family here in the United States, and so my cigar smoking community became my family.
Yeah.
Started at Highland.
Right.
So
Highland out here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Copy that, right?
Yeah,
right.
Indeed. And that was, I've been 15 years in the game, but that's an important thing overall, whether it's cigar smoking or whether it's something else. it's really important that people take the time to discover. And if they've been caregivers, providers, and that has been their sole role, some of us don't even know what we like yet.
Right.
So, but it's really important that we freaking find out and that we go and indulge in that as our responsibilities and resources allow us to.
Right.
So that we can have some joy in our life when things are getting crazy.
Well, I'd rather take sex over cigars personally, but cigars is close to.
Well, I mean,
I'm like,
shit.
I got different type of joy. I didn't play golf, but I would take sex over golf.
Oh, no. There needs to be a caveat. You said sex with no precursors. It's got to be good.
Sex like pizza. Right?
Wow.
Even when it's bad, it's still fucking pizza.
Oh, you know what? My standards are apparently higher.
Okay. Well, I'm a bottom feeder.
I deal with pizza standards.
I'm sorry, what you about to say, Jay?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, people who, like you were saying, who are caregivers, they need an outlet. They need something, A lot of times they don't even realize some of the stresses and strains that they might be going through, outside of caregiving.
Amen.
And the job that they have. So, my question would be, what are some of the tips that you would give to inspire or create a good health and wellness?
So let me ask you this, because that advice needs to be really tailored. What type of caregiver are you asking me to address?
Okay, so
question?
are you take care of a mom and dad? Are you take care of your kids?
Yeah, older parents.
Right, are you take care of
children,
special needs?
Yeah. It all varies.
So
give me a specific scenario.
So just scratch a caregiver, just people in general. What tips would you give to help
unwind, find joy?
Find a healthy
find
life.
joy is a big one, and this is the thing. So we talk. There's a lot of buzzwords out in the community about self-care and things of that nature, and boundary setting and living my best life, and those things are all great things to consider if you have some level of self-awareness.
Yeah.
If you know what bullshit you bring to the table. And you can actually address that. Because you can't ask another person, a friend, a lover, anybody, a parent, you can't ask them to understand who you are and what you need unless you've got to that point where you can ask for it.
Right.
So that's an important part.
So in addition to, I would imagine, you put together these action plans for clients. I know that some of them are medicated in different aspects, right? You have prescription drugs, you have more homeopathic science. Do you lean towards either one? Are you about whatever works? Like, tell me about that.
So my general rule is anything that you integrate into your system, especially if you're coming from a space of crisis or being challenged with whatever life is putting at you right now, is be under medical management.
Okay.
But as I'm learning and as I appreciate, there are outside of psychotropic drugs, and I had to take psychopharmacology like everybody else, outside of medicines.
Right, you got a prescription book with you today?
Right. Slide one up on the table right quick, please.
But outside of medicines that are prescribed by your doctor and adhered by your pharmacist, a lot of people are moving into psychedelics now.
Right.
They're moving into healthy use of marijuana.
Mushrooms.
They're moving into healthy use of psychedelics. As therapists, we're being recruited by those that train for psychedelic use.
Yeah.
And then, a clinician like me has to understand that under the guise of what Georgia demands, that I can only do this and that within it. But I've seen great progress with folks who have used both methodologies.
Right.
So those are alternates, but those are not the only. So there's things like Reiki and energy healing and yoga, and I think people forget that ultimately, mental health is a 360 scenario.
It's not, you don't just face it from one particular aspect.
I mean, coming and smoking cigars,
Right.
It is part of how I build joy into my world, where I treat people.
Yeah.
However, there has to be more than that. There has to be things that you really identify with,
like trapeze on Fridays.
Facts.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right, you sparked the memory.
You know what I'm saying? You bring a woman with you.
What?
Like, we ain't got to do nothing together, but you get my rate down.
Oh, come on, get my rate down.
Get my rate down.
Is that a comp?
Oh,
honestly, no.
Cancel compliance officer.
We got to double check when I cancel compliance officer.
Don't cut it. So honestly, that shit counts.
Absolutely.
Whatever's
your joy.
Brings you joy.
Yeah.
For some people, it's vacation. For some people, it's their favorite music. For some people, it's indulging in their favorite food. But this is the thing. There's a school of thought.
Some people's hair from a Fulton Industrial.
Man, what you talking about, man?
So
it's the thrill of not getting caught. It's the thrill of not getting caught in the back of the parking lot.
Hair costs $7 on Fulton Industrial. Not that I know, but I heard.
You heard. No, it's all good.
So, we actually had a therapist on last season, and we were talking about psychedelics as well as other drugs. And so one of the things that we saw in the psychedelics, we talk about, helping with your cluster headaches and depression and anxiety. So, it's great that, that to hear the health industry exactly doing just that, going a little bit further and saying, hey, look, we need to take a look at these drugs that some people may call recreational to see that we can use in a medical field.
Well, there's a push for that now.
Yeah.
And like California, the state of California is pushing that initiative, certainly. But as a clinician, as a licensed clinician, I am being heavily recruited to learn how to administer those. So if folks need to understand
I know how to administer a dose. What? I know how to administer a dose.
You gotta look like this.
Okay.
Exactly.
We'll bring it back. I'm listening.
Sorry.
So psychiatrists are MDs and they prescribe.
Yeah.
Psychologists, that's the only prescription level of our world. To give a little background to folks. So only they can administer drugs of any kind.
Wow.
And then there are psychologists who are primarily research. And then there's master's level clinicians like us who do clinical research, who do like full-blown therapy in a host of dynamics. We all choose different specialties. So mine is, depression, anxiety, trauma, substance abuse.
Okay.
Those are my key areas.
You got to be real careful with substance abuse because you got people who you got to make sure they don't have anything else that's habit forming that you add to it.
Well, this is the thing. Honestly, substance abuse clientele over my 7-8 years practicing typically has a trauma component that happened at some point later, and that's how they try to numb it out.
Okay.
Really? Whether it's weed, whether it's coke, whether it's alcohol being the biggest.
Right.
Because it's the easily accessible.
Absolutely.
Like, just some folks just try to numb out their pain instead of trying to address it.
Okay. Well, speaking of which, talk about alcohol.
Right.
If you need a good drink, you need to come on by the Patio Social and Cigar Lounge.
Yes.
Here at 3150 Highland Parkway in Smyrna, Georgia, which is our pretty much home base. We do move around, so if you have a cigar shop that you would like for us to bring practical smokers to, hit us up, social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, make sure that we get there. We'll make sure we let her talk to you about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, so I know people who do both, right? I have friends who've done the ayahuasca, right? Ayahuasca, whatever Huasca.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've had friends that's on lithium and Adderall.
The toad.
Right?
What about the toad? You know somebody get the toad?
The toad?
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. That
You don't know
sounds
about
like
the
warts.
toad?
No.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Jay. What is that about?
The toad.
Yeah,
It's a frog. It's,
Right, you
it's
pull
actually
something out
that
their
you
gland. Yeah. No, I thought you pull out something out their gland.
With something about the toad
Yeah.
that you eat.
I don't know what that frog looks like. I don't know how many they got. I ain't taking no chances. I fuck around, get me a regular bullfrog. Fuck around, have horns. Fuck around with y'all have crazy.
You have warts.
Oh Lord, don't want warts. Don't that kind of thing? You get those. It's hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
Them bad boys stay with you.
Right.
You got to explain that to the spouse. So, baby,
I was like trapeze on Friday night.
Listen, it wasn't LaQuisha, baby. What it was a toad.
I'm trying to tell you.
These words came from a toad, not LaQuisha. You know what I'm saying? But so one thing that I would like to touch back on, you mentioned that when it comes to mental wellness, right? It's a 360 approach.
Yeah.
I do feel sometimes in medicine that they only focus on the issue and not what comes of it. Hence why the commercials be like, yeah, you should try this for blood pressure. You might have vomiting, you might have diarrhea, you might have bleed from inside, you might have excess drooling.
Right.
Might get erection for 10 hours. Any type of shit can happen.
Or
You might
no
kill
erection
yourself.
at all.
Or no
No
erection
erection
at
at
all. Right? So when you look at
If you
it on
suffer from
360
IBS, please don't take this.
right. So you suffer from IBS.
IBS.
Oh,
If you suffer from IBS, please don't
say
take this.
IBS. I'm like, Jesus. But so when you have that 360 approach, you have to put down an action plan. You have to figure, do you give recommendations for food? Do you give recommendations for do you do allergens, right? Like allergies can trigger off some things.
Yeah.
They can. So this is the thing. For in a mental health space in my world,
Okay.
we're going to do a medical rule out of most of the things.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you the questions, and I'm going to ask you to sign documentation so I can coordinate with your treating physician,
Like
and so I
HIPAA,
can understand some things to get a big picture.
Okay.
All right.
It's not that I do not believe in medicine, but I am a naturalist in a way.
Okay.
I've taken medicine myself when necessary, but I think that there are ways that we can learn to cope with the stressors that life throws at us. But sometimes, and for some of us, we need pharmacological input in order to create a baseline.
Yeah.
Right? In order to get us stable enough to be able to learn coping skills that we can then, take our muscles out of atrophy and get stronger at that, and we can wean off the medicine.
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen on my caseload many a time for men and women.
What's funny is when I was in college, I always thought the crazy girls was the ones that was in psychology, right? Because I felt like you had to be crazy to deal with crazy people.
Right.
Well, I
Right.
mean,
Right. My grandma.
I'm gonna have to plead the fifth.
Well,
I used to date this chick. My grandma said, son, she was a psychologist. She said, son, I'm going to tell you about them psychologists. They always say they the ones who need therapy first.
Right.
You need to make sure that she getting her therapy first before you around here messing around with her.
And my problem when I was in college, I wasn't giving therapy. I was giving dick.
Oh my
I used to
God.
hang out in the psychology department. You do about 2 of these. I'm like, girl, what's your name? They said crazy ones got the good stuff.
What? But that ain't no
I
lie.
was double down.
But ain't no lie.
Like, is she biting her cuticles?
Yes.
Oh, baby, come here. I got something for you. Get your little hood.
I got that Marvin Gaye, baby. That's sexual healing for you.
Okay.
So
Goodness
you mentioned a great point that you said that you have to coordinate with the doctor. So that brings up the point of it takes a village, right, to help everybody,
does.
right? So in the healthcare industry, there's a lot of stresses, a lot of things that you deal with on a daily basis. So
Amen.
the question I have for you is, how do you yourself zen out and just find peace and solace?
Well, that's a great question, and I'm glad that I went to the program that I did because, praise to the Demon Deacons, Wake Forest went
The
hard.
demon dick what?
Demon Deacons,
Oh,
Wake Forest.
I said I had
Listen,
that
Negro.
before. I would tell you somebody told me I had demon dick before. I just asked her.
I didn't say Dick, I said Demon Deacons.
Okay, I'm back with you now.
It sounded like
It was
that.
pretty close.
Yeah, it was.
Demon dicks and Dickens. Okay. No elbows.
Reverend who?
So
I went to a demon dick
that
program. The exodus of the demon dicks, triple exodus.
Listen,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No need to be sorry. So, but that particular program at Wake Forest showed us how to like respect the clinician because burnout is real in our industry. And I do trauma and mood disorders. So like to demystify mood disorders, that's anxiety, that's depression, that's bipolar, and then I have a specialty in substance abuse. And so that's alcohol and every other freaking drug out there that anybody could abuse.
Yeah.
So it becomes very freaking important as a mother of 4 for me to be able. No, I pulled thumb out, nigga. I get down.
You probably need some demon dick.
I got a whole master's degree. Shut up.
Mother of 4, you probably need some demon dick.
You know what I'm saying? You probably got 4
Anyhow. I knew there'd be some rap.
You knew it was gonna be like this.
I knew.
You knew when you said yes a while ago. When you was walking in.
She's turning red. She's turning red on us.
I ain't scared. No, I'm just that color.
Okay, all right.
I ain't turning nothing. But all the points are, you have to, if you're a clinician and you're taking care of anybody's welfare, whether you're a parent, which most of the people in the room are, or whether you have a clinical designation. Like, you have to really make sure that you're paying attention to what you need and what is going on for you.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're giving everybody that you love and that is influenced by you a depleted version of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you are giving them your least version.
Yes.
And this is not what we've worked all these decades for. So get it right. Like, discover what you need to rest, which is not earned. Rest is not earned. Rest is not earned by more hard work. Rest is a necessity. It fucks up your executive functioning. You'll be more irritable. Like, all your relationships will fucking suffer if you don't. Sleep is for suckers is it. I used to subscribe to that shit in another. Like, no.
We do too. We
it's
do it
the
now.
most unhealthy shit ever.
Please expand on that because we don't get sleep.
I've been up for a while now.
Yeah, we don't get sleep.
I probably had about 4 hours last night. That's my average.
And he fusses at me because I have sleep apnea. I fuss at him because he sleeps on.
He actually he got a CPAP. He got a wireless Bluetooth CPAP.
That's fine.
To play music.
Oh, he got a fancy CPAP.
I don't have no CPAP.
You hate on him because he got the Cadillac of fucking CPAP.
Yeah, he mad.
Okay, this is the old person podcast where the fucking camera is. Like, we CPAP in glaucoma. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
The point is this. If you want to best serve your family, your community, your job, whatever the fuck you're doing, you need to take care of yourself. This whole sleep is for suckers, I'll sleep when I'm dead mentality, I subscribe to it.
Okay.
When I worked in a different industry. That shit will kill us. That's why as black people we have higher blood pressure. We have higher incidence of diabetes. This is why we have higher incidence of heart-related issues. Are you listening? Are you?
Yeah.
He keep hitting me on the
fussing at him.
He's hitting you because he's like,
I'm mad and I'm looking your way.
Yeah.
So I deal,
Okay.
and I'm licensed to deal with the mental health side of things, but you need to understand, you can be in the gym, you can eat the right foods, you can sleep right, but if you have not addressed your trauma, if you have not addressed what that chick did to you or that dude did to you, if you have not come to terms with what's going on in your life, then it's going to repeat itself. It's going to continue to negatively impact your overall health. It's not just about getting in the gym. It's not about taking trips. Self-care is not about nails, bubble bath, golf, cigars. It is about, let's set boundaries for work. Let's set boundaries for relationships. And boundaries are to protect what you built, not to keep people out.
Yeah, most of my boundaries are like, I got a wife, so I'm sorry.
That's a good one. I mean,
that's a great one.
I know you want to give me something, but you know, I got a whole boundary. No, but so and doubling back to all of this, right? And how important sleep is, as someone who does currently subscribe to the sleep when I'm dead mentality, right?
Yes.
I do know that does have some major effects, but I'm also one who openly speaks about my traumas, right? And I think that does help me a lot. You know, now one thing that would be a concern for me, let's say a therapist that's also an empath, right? So now you're listening to this trauma and you're incorporating some of it internally.
Oh yeah.
You know, so like, are there days that you're like, woo, this one was too much? Little Bobby came up in here and lost his damn mind.
Right.
I'm out. My lunch is 4 hours today. Like,
Yes,
does that
I'm
happen?
gone.
You have to take like midday naps?
I have cleared my fucking calendar for the day.
Really?
I've had some shit pop off in the morning and had to move my entire calendar.
Really?
But my therapeutic alliance with my clients is they understand that. Like if my allergies are acting up, if I have a migraine, I will not treat because I want to come with the best that I have to give clinically.
That's understand.
Benadryl. I'm like, so what happened today?
No.
Are you okay? Okay, I'm sorry.
Say that again. I was just praying. I know I always pray before I start. Let's say that again.
As we. But that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Here we go.
You know what? Your mama did it. Your mama did it.
Oh man, it's horrible.
All right, so with in turn with all of that, right?
Yes.
That's really interesting because people in your industry need people in your industry because of that, right? So, do you feel that? I can assume you feel that everyone needs therapy, but definitely in your field, is it highly recommended?
From a marketing perspective, yes, we could certainly tout that everybody would benefit from therapy, and that would not be untrue.
Mm-hmm.
The best therapists in the business see somebody weekly.
Copy that.
They see another therapist who is skilled on treating other clinicians. Because our troubles, outside of
intake,
our own personal history, you know, there are regulation around de-identifying, not talking about patients, but most of us have consultant groups. Mm-hmm. Most of us have mentor groups.
Yeah.
Most of us have our own personal therapist that gets us through the shit. Because I promise you, when someone calls me at 4 o'clock in the morning and talking about, and I don't deal very often with extreme cases, but when somebody calls me and wakes me out of my bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and says, I'm thinking about killing myself and I have to mobilize all of my resources, I promise you I need to talk to my person.
You don't want to know this.
I hang up on you.
You don't want to know what this dude's going to do.
I'm going to hang up on you. Don't call me.
That's
you
why.
already told me. Another clinician. That's why I'm saying good therapists.
Hey, Cole, I'm sad. Well, I'll be up at 7. Call me back.
Good therapists have other clinicians in their corner that we entrust.
But it's understood. Well,
the views of practical smokers do not agree with
Parker
and his views.
of practical smoker. Listen, my council compliance officer already knows me, right? Everyone, I say it on here.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think on every show I'm gonna start including it. Definitely on this one, I'm gonna have the suicide hotline.
Yes,
don't call Cole.
for you.
Don't call Cole. Call the hotline.
Yeah.
Don't call me. Because then I'm not an empath, right? So let's start there. I definitely don't want to be.
I don't want to know your problem. We're
I mean,
you somewhere else.
General stuff is cool, but I don't want you crying on the. I'm not going to be awake for it. And if you call me at 4 o'clock in the morning, I probably don't even sleep an hour and a half, and I'm gonna be mad. You think about what upset and cranky? Oh, don't let me have to shoot that day. Everybody's gonna be mad at me. I send a text. That's when I send a group text. Everybody in the room got it before. I sent one of my groggy group texts, and those are terrible. But anyway,
horrible.
I think this information that you have given has been phenomenal.
Well, thank you.
I know you also mentioned some resources that we're going to share with you guys.
Yes, I've got some links I can put up when
we'll make sure they get up there.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll make sure.
So where's your you got your like a doctor's pad you can write us prescriptions in?
See what I mean? We can't do that on camera, man. What's wrong with you?
No.
But so with all you got going on, how can people find you? Let's say on the other end of this, we have a viewer who's like, Cole's absolutely fucking right. I'm not calling him.
Right.
But you look like someone maybe I can call for help.
Right.
So how can they find you? How do you take new clientele or?
We do. We coach and we offer clinical, and I have a group practice that consists of all clinicians of color, male and female. We coach and we offer clinical services. So that's tailoredwellness.org. Tailored, TAILORED.
There you
Okay.
go.
And how can they find you on social media if you want to be
That
found?
was
I
tough.
am Bobbi Jones.
That's it.
Easy peasy.
When I say that, I get talked about. It's gonna come.
Who gonna say what?
You'll see. Hey Jay, thank you. I think it's been a great show. What you think, Jay?
Man, it's been a phenomenal show, man.
I thank
As a
y'all
matter
for
of fact,
having me.
Yes.
I appreciate you being here. You know, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I feel like at this show, I'm gonna need to smoke. I'm gonna need a pack of cools or something. It's been real
Oh.
great, you know.
All I know is
Relax.
let me leave before you stand up.
Oh.
Because I don't know what you got going on. You've been looking at Bobby's eyes. You done let one loose. Let me out first. But anyway, Jay, how can they find you on social media, brother?
You can find me very simple. Find me.
It's never that simple.
You can find me on Instagram at JDMoney1000. You can also find me on X at JDeniro. It's simple, man. My name is J Money, so you can always find me there.
That is absolutely correct. And as always, make sure you go to YouTube.
Yes.
Search for Practical Smokers.
Yes.
Hit that subscribe button at the top. Subscribe to the podcast. On everything, you can find us at Practical Smokers. And on everything individually, you can find me at Cole D. Parker. I want to thank our guests again. I want to thank Jay. I want to thank the team that's been supporting us in the background. We got a full house today. The whole team is here. We
Yes.
deep.
Yes.
But until the next time, stay well, stay educated, stay joyful, and stay lit. We out.
Peace.
Share